Come on, Livingston. We're gonna go on and on and on. Together we can make it. We're gonna go on and on and on. Come on, Livingston.
Knocks it through. Mullen bursting into the box. Josh Mullen.
Together we can make it.
Mullen's ball across. It's turned in. It's Pittman who's got it. Livingston leads.
Road is long.
Can they get the ball back in? O'Brien.
Lead! And Livingston have the lead.
Man, score.
If we march to
The full-time whistle blows and David Hayes celebrates. And the Livingston fans join in exultation.
come on, Livingston.
Livingston have the lead against Rangers, and they are certainly rising to a few occasions on their return to the top flight in Scotland.
Come on, Livingston. We're gonna go.
You're listening to TalkLivi, your go-to podcast for all Livi fans to hear the latest about the club and listen to after-match reaction from the manager and players. This week I'm joined by the usual lads Andy and Callum to discuss what's been a busy week for the club.
On this week's episode, we hear from Gary Holt and winger Stevie Lawless as they give us their post-match reaction after the St Mirren game.
We will discuss the trip to Paisley. You guessed it, another frustrating afternoon on the road. But is it all bad?
During the week the club announced a partnership with fellow local side Blackburn. Livingston will have a women's team from next season. We look at the announcement and give our thoughts.
We have another instalment of our feature What Does Your Fox In, where we take inspiration from the hit TV show Room 101. Find out what does our fox in this week.
Finally, we look ahead to the weekend's game as we welcome Ross County to the Tony Macaroni Arena. We talk stats, tactics and potential lineups. Listen out for our predictions as well.
So first up, let's hear what the gaffer had to say after yet another 2-goal lead being thrown away at the weekend.
It's going game, and that's what I said to the boys. Let's be honest, the conditions we get the game stopped, and it was brutal. And I think that I had a hand in the goals as well for both teams. You can see that the ball's skipping up, it's swirling in the wind. But you can get 3-1 up. You want to try and see the game out, but let's be honest. I've said this to the players. Teams aren't just going to lie down because you go 3-1 up. They're going to change it. They're going to put more attackers on, but we have to deal with the ball better when it comes in the box. We've got to deal better. I don't think second half we turned them as much as we could have done and should have done considering the conditions. The times we've done it, we got a goal off one and we had a couple of free kicks off the others. But I came here last year in similar conditions, if not just as bad or worse, and we didn't get anything because of a late last minute winner. So you take the point, you put it to bed before game's unbeaten, and we move on. Not because the pitch was fine, but it's one of those. We always talk about the surface and the pitch if it's playable, but I think the conditions as well you've got to look at. But that's not for me to say. I think it's a hard one for the referee because the surface is playable. But it's gale force wind, it's swirling, it's the rain you can deal with, but wind just makes it a mockery at times. And I think that had an impact on the goals because Iman's had a great finish for the first for us, but the two centre backs have tried to go for a ball. It's gone one way, then the next, and then it bounced in between the two of them. So you feel for the lads in that aspect, but it was entertaining. You want a good game of football, and it was more mistakes rather than anything. It was. And don't get me wrong, we scored some decent finishes out of them, but if you look at how we got them, it wasn't silky football, it wasn't pretty, it wasn't cut open, and it was horrible. So I think you've got to say it was probably entertaining for a neutral. You see 6 goals, we got a point, they get a point, put it to bed and move on, something like that. But I think if Nick had come over and said, look, this isn't happening, isn't proper football, I wouldn't have complained. And that's what I was hoping it wasn't going to be that it was a mistake at the cost of the game for either side. I don't want that, and that's what he tried not to. But as I said, you look at the goals, and I think we've got to defend it better. But you've also got to realise that the conditions were terrible, and that has an impact to play. You're going for a ball that you think you can judge in the air. My two centre backs are going for it. Next minute it's over. Next minute it's dropping 20 yards short of them. you don't know what way it's going. But I thought we dealt with it at times really well. But I think second half we could have maybe played the percentages a bit better, put it in their half a bit more, and squeezed the game. But yeah, at the end of the day, they're scrapping for life the same as us, so they're going to make it as difficult as possible. And you got to say fair play to them. They came back into the game, and we're disappointed with the goals. They're disappointed with the goals that they conceded. Take a point, move on.
Now here's the thoughts of winger Stevie Lawless after the game.
Sutby, I think last year we played in similar conditions here, to be honest, and it was quite similar. Hard to play in, lots of wind to rain, so to score 3 goals in it, I think all the goals were quite scrappy, to be honest, some good finishes, but to come away with a point, we'd have probably took that before the game, but the way the game went, it was obviously going 2 goals ahead. It feels like points dropped, if I'm being honest, but that was the same for both teams, so it was just it wasn't probably the best spectacle, if I'm being honest, but as I said, 3 goals and not to get the wins is a bit disappointing, but a point away from home is always something. They know themselves they could have done better, but everybody in the team, it wasn't a good performance for anybody, if I'm being honest. It's hard to play in the conditions, especially the way some of them were playing the second half when they went two down. The big boys up front, it's hard to deal with the balls when it's as windy as it is, so we'll take a point and move on. We've not been beaten 4 games now, so we'll try and build on that as much as possible and get as many points as we can this year on our fixtures we've got. Yeah, it's just this, it hasn't seemed to be working for him in the league. That's his first goals, but you've seen what he's got there. He's got the quality for that to happen. 2 great finishes, if I'm being honest. I think he was easy. He's got the deflection in the first one, but that's maybe what he needed, and you see with the second one, he's got that in his locker, and long may it continue, because if he's playing like that and we're getting goals all the way through the team, then it will only help us. Listen, he's not been putting in bad performances, he's still been playing well, but he's not maybe having the chances or the finishes that we know he's got. Hopefully he can build on that, because he brings something different to the team. It's just because of the way the game went. If we take everything into consideration with the wind and the weather, it wasn't a good game for either side, to be fair. It was probably a point gain, but just because the game, we're 3-1 up, probably, from my point of view, I think we need to see that out. We need to just be ruthless and not give them chances. But as we spoke about there, it's difficult when the weather's like that, for defenders to deal with the first ball up. So I'm pretty sure later on the night it'll be a point gain, but right now, just because of the position we were in, it feels like personally that we dropped 2 points there.
So there we go, there's no other way of putting it. It's another 2 points kind of chucked away, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we'll be using the word frustrating again a lot today.
I feel like it's a go-to word for away games these days,
isn't it?
Yeah.
I personally think we didn't start great. Yet we were in front. Suda, obviously, I thought was probably one of the only standout players. He gave us a lead, obviously. Yeah. But as I said there, I don't think we started particularly well. I thought we were fortunate to be in front.
I don't think we played particularly well at all yesterday.
No.
For a 3 each, I didn't even think it was that good a game.
It wasn't a good game, that.
I don't think there was a lot of quality in it, and I think pretty much all the goals were mistakes or shocking defending.
Every single goal.
Yeah.
Every single, and it's true what, obviously we heard what Gary had to say there. The weather was partly to blame, but we're in Scotland, come on.
Yeah,
we play in the wind and the rain. We need to do better.
Both teams are playing in it as well.
Yeah, the defend. I cannot.
The defending for the first goal is really poor.
I cannot stick up for the defending yesterday, regardless of the weather. It was horrendous. The first goal is the worst for me, because we actually have possession of the ball. We're in control of the ball.
Yeah.
Lammy comes over and gets involved for some reason.
Looks a bit of a miscommunication between him and Lawson.
But the thing is, Lammy comes over, and instead of just going and clearing the ball is there to be cleared. He pays more attention to the player, the attacking player.
Yeah,
I feel like all 3 of our goals was just folk not dealing with it.
Yeah.
You know, Lammy could just come over, put the ball out of the park, right? Do something really simple.
Yeah.
Dykes, you know, he's sclaffed at it, but if he just clears
went
it,
with the wrong foot as well, I thought.
Right. But if he just deals with it, makes a decent contact, goes out for a throw and probably stops it. The third one, I thought Al should have. I don't know why he's allowed Andrew to get wrong side of him. I think if Al just kind of goes and meets the ball and again just clears his lines, I think the danger is gone.
Yeah.
I think all 3 goals are
very preventable.
Very preventable, and we're saying it far too often though, and we've looked better in recent games defensively, which makes it more
and that's
frustrating.
And that's what I mean by, obviously, the weather's played its part. the wind is swirling, we don't know where the but, and that's exactly what Gary has to say. But
I don't go in.
I don't buy it in a way because, like you say, we go ahead, we then go 2 goals ahead in the second half. We half an hour to play. Professional teams shouldn't be throwing away a 2-goal lead. Certainly no 3 times in one season.
If we're good enough to take the lead, if we're good enough to go in front by 2 goals, we're good enough to defend that lead, I think.
We saw it on the BBC, 52% of our goals this season that we've conceded have been conceded between the 60th and the 90th minute.
It's a worrying stat. It is a worrying stat. I've done a wee bit of research for this as well, for looking at the game, and in the first half table, we've only went in 4 games out of 18 trailing at half time.
So that's games in the first half.
Yeah. So first half we've been ahead in just about every game apart from 4 in the first half. So the first half league table, if it finished at half time, we'd be sitting on 26 points right now. If the game's finished at half time, we'd be sitting 6th in the league on the first half performances alone. Second half would be sitting bottom of the league. For 46 minutes to 90 minutes, we'd be sitting bottom of the league on 14 points. So there's clearly some problem there with second halves.
Yeah.
And it needs to be sorted because it's now affecting how we're doing in the league.
Yeah.
No, we mentioned it, what was it, 2 weeks ago or last week, that if we'd picked up the points that we should have picked up, we'd be sitting very comfortably in the league and we'd be sitting well clear of the bottom teams. We wouldn't even be worrying about relegation.
Yep.
We'd be safe by Christmas again. Yeah. And it's so, go back to that word, frustrating.
I think we should give a wee bit of credit to St Mirren though. I thought they were, I wouldn't say they were excellent, but when they went 3-1 down, Jim Goodwin made the changes and they went for it. They're obviously.
But did we react in time to that though?
Probably not. No, but I think they're fighting for their lives as well as us.
Tactically, I wasn't so sure about the decision we made at half time.
Yeah, the sub. I was going to come on that.
So Taylor Sinclair, if he's come off with an injury, not a lot you can do about that. But I don't think we had to change the system. I don't feel like St Mirren were causing us particular problems in the wide areas to merit kind of moving to a 3.
Yeah.
You could have just made a straight swap with McMillan. You know,
or even put Lammy left back.
Or you could have pushed Lammy to left back and put Lithgow in at centre half. I just feel like tweaking the entire system for what could have been a kind of like for like.
You're right, because the system was working.
Well, we were 2-1 up.
St Mirren hadn't really threatened us. You
Lawless,
take that
goes to left wing back. He's been our most creative player.
You take that individual error out that opened us up for their goal. You take that out.
There's a couple of kind of shots from the edge of the box.
They've not really opened us up
really
on the system. So yeah, I agree. There wasn't really a need for the changing of the system, and it looked like it did affect us. No, and we
did the same at Easter Road as well.
Yeah.
And Hibs got back in the game pretty much as soon as we made kind of tweaks to the shape we were playing.
I'm not going to defend the third goal, but I mean we should just clear the ball. It should be dealt with.
Yeah.
But I do think there is a slight bit of fortune about it. It's obviously taken a massive deflection, gone over Sarkic, and I think that's kind of been the story for a few times this season. The luck hasn't fallen for us. The ball sometimes hasn't fallen for us. You look at Alan Campbell's goal against that beat us. They won 2-1.
You say that, but I feel we did get a wee stroke a lot yesterday with the opener. You know, Flynn's on the ball, for example. I think, as you said earlier on, I think one of the players who probably gets pass marks for yesterday was Suda, obviously getting a couple of goals. He took his first one really well.
Exciting player to
took
watch.
his second really well.
See the thing is with Suda, he's clearly taken the coaching on board.
Yeah.
Because early in the season, all we spoke about was we can't trust him defensively on the pitch. And that's why he wasn't playing. See, recently, you can't accuse him of that because he's been tracking back well, he's been fighting for the ball, putting in tackles, and he's been good going forward.
He's not been greedy as well.
Yeah, he's given us a completely different dimension going forward, and it's worked. You know, we're obviously going away from home and scoring 3 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, we've scored 3 goals in 2 consecutive games now.
Yeah.
Which I think there was a stat on saying that's the first time since 2003 in the Premier League or something that we've done that. We've never scored 3 goals in 3 consecutive games in the Premier League.
I predicted a draw beforehand. I didn't expect the game to be maybe quite as open as it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I probably would have taken a point before because it keeps them at distance.
It's at arm's length.
If you're wanting to try and pick positives from it, we have extended that gap between us and the bottom two
7 clear now.
again. But again, it should be more. I think one of the other things that frustrated me a lot, especially in the first half, I felt we were trying to be really, really intricate around the edge of the 18-yard box.
Oh yeah.
Now you saw what happened with St Mirren's equaliser, the second equaliser to make it 3 each. Have a shot.
Yeah.
If you have a shot, there's a chance it can take a nick off someone. I think the Souders took a nick.
Look at the conditions.
You know,
Blast it.
you know, if you just hit it into a crowd of bodies, it could fall for someone. And I felt we were trying to make too sure of it in and around the box. And Gary's mentioned that before as well. You know, you don't shoot, you don't score in football. Or very rarely. But you know, I think we need to. Folk maybe need to take a bit of responsibility in and about the box. Just go, Ken, what? Just hit it. Take it by the scruff of the neck. Just try and make something happen.
Yeah. I think that the other thing that kind of I noticed yesterday was in the past few weeks we've been pressing better as a team.
Yeah.
But yesterday I thought, especially second half, St Mirren got in behind us far too easily. And the reason for that is because we pressed as individuals.
We weren't hunting packs.
Pittman on numerous occasions went hunting for the ball himself, which left gaps behind him because nobody was following that up.
Yeah.
It's something we've been notoriously good at, is hunting in packs, like you say, and I don't think we've done that enough against St Mirren. I think that caused us a lot of problems. Like I say, they got in behind. But again, we're talking a lot of negatives here, but that's 4 games without defeat. And we go into next week's game with a real possibility that if we win the game, we could be sitting 6th in the league.
Again, closer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Closer to the top 6 than we are to.
So we're being overly negative here, and it's understandable. It's easy to be.
It just is that word
pattern,
frustration.
Yeah.
As I say, it's the pattern of the games that makes it frustrating. You're not frustrated about drawing at St Mirren.
Yeah.
It's frustration about
how it's
happened.
Yeah.
We've all said on numerous occasions that point at Easter Road, Tynecastle, even St Johnstone, before we knew how terrible they were going to be this season, to put it plainly. We'd have taken that before the game, but it's in these circumstances is why it's frustrating.
I think that every time we get a poor result, and I understand the overriding feeling is annoyed and frustrated, and we're throwing away a lead again.
I wonder how many times we said frustration and frustrated in this segment.
But see, the people that are calling for Gary Holt to go just need a wee reality check here. They need a total reality check.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not going to go as far as saying look where we were this time and this time, but have a bit of a reality check about yourselves. We're sitting 8th in the league. What, 5 points behind 5th?
If you gave us 8th in the league at the start of the season, it would be an improvement on last year.
Yeah. I totally get the annoyance with throwing away the leads. It is annoying, and I was as annoyed as anybody at the game. But coming away for the game, you think, well, it's another point clear. 4 undefeated. We go into a really good game against Ross County next week.
Yeah.
If we can win that, likelihood is, if results go as we expect them to go, Hibs playing, I think, Celtic and Rangers the next 2 games, and Kilmarnock playing Motherwell. There's a great opportunity to close the gap on 5th and go up to 6th at the halfway point of the season.
We're all obviously gutted to lose these points late on, things like that. But I think to sum it up, we are, as Andy was saying there, we're 7 clear of the bottom 2. If somebody would have asked me that in July, say, that would be what into December now, when we're 7 points clear of relegation.
Yeah.
If you asked anyone at the start of the season, I think you look at the players we lost in the summer. Gary inherited a team that was kind of on the up, right? Gary's had to basically build a team in the summer there, or put certainly his own stamp on the team with players that have left.
Yeah.
It's going to take time, right? It's not going to instantly click, but I think we're doing fine. And we look at St Mirren yesterday. They're not great. They're not great. And I think we weren't at our best by any stretch. No. And we scored 3 goals against them on their patch. That's the way I would look at it. Is we are more than competitive with every team in this league, despite the massive differences in budget between the teams.
I think as well, it might be a bit controversial, but I think we're a bit more entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I think we are
this season than what we have been in the last 2 or 3 seasons. I think we're certainly better going forward.
I've said that numerous times, but I do I wish we were maybe a bit tighter.
Yeah, we're a bit more.
Well, we need a striker apparently. So. 6 goals in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
But we need a striker.
Don't be controversial now, Callum. Jeez, you're throwing half our fan base under the bus here.
It's ridiculous.
But it's one of the games. It's another one that we've thrown away 2 points, but it's a point gained at the end of the day. It's another point clear at the bottom, and hopefully we can pick up a win on Saturday against Ross County.
Last week, the club announced that from next season, Livingston will have a team competing in women's football for the very first time in the club's history. A partnership with fellow local side Blackburn now gives a route into football for all young women in West Lothian to play football and aspire to play at a high level within the game. It's absolutely great news for both Livingston and the community. So what's our thoughts on it, boys?
I think it's a great step forward for the club. We're one of only 2 Premiership sides without a women's team, and I think it's a kind of logical step forward for the club. West Lothian's a big catchment. There'll be a lot of kind of talent and a lot of girls who are looking to get into playing football and playing for a local side like ourselves. And it's good that we've done the tie-in with Blackburn because they already have a kind of established setup there, which is good. I think it's only positive. It's only positive for the club.
Absolutely. I think it's a great indication how far the club's came in a short period of time. How long ago would we have thought Livingston having a women's team? No chance.
It's really exciting. Our team of support as well.
Yeah, and it's a good indication on how the club's sort of trying to do its best to get in around the community. Linking and tying in with a club like Blackburn, who is community based. Yeah. And like you say, Ewan, they've got a setup already in place for young girls to come into the sport. Yeah. It's great for the community, and it gives them something to aspire to. The young players, gives them something to aspire to. But when they joined Blackburn, it was a bit of a sort of, without being disrespectful, a hobby, a way to keep fit and things. Now they've got a goal there to go, well, listen, if I can do well, play at a decent level with Blackburn, there's a chance there that I can play for a Premiership club, for now, a Premiership club, in a Premiership stadium, in front of a fairly decent crowd, because I think it'll go well within the Livingston fan base. I think we'll see a lot of people going down on it. I think the games will be a Sunday. Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of fans going down, certainly the first season, out in interest.
It shows how far the women's games come as well, obviously. Scotland reaching the World Cup in the summer there.
I think
really exciting.
I think the national team's made a massive difference to the women's game here in terms of the Euros first of all, but then the World Cup.
West Lothian's own Shelley Kerr as well.
Yeah,
Hayley Lauder.
That's made a massive difference to the women's game here. I mean, the record crowd previously was 5,000, I think they had for the game at Hampden. And then me and you, Bruni, were at the Jamaica game, the last game before they went away for the World Cup, and 20,000.
Nearly more there than there was at the San Marino game.
Yeah,
exactly. Shows how far it's come.
And then I went and watched the first qualifier over at Easter Road for the current Euros campaign, and there were 7,000 there. So there's obviously an appetite for it.
There's a real spike in interest in Scotland. You look elsewhere down south, there's games getting played down south in the women's game that are getting 20,000-30,000 the games. And I'm not saying for anywhere near that up here, but see if we can get a decent amount of people going, supporting the ladies.
Per population.
Supporting the ladies and doing well. Like you say, it's another opportunity for Livingston as a club to grow its brand. And the female game as well.
Yeah, there's a bit of restructuring to the league setup within the women's game. So currently it's a kind of SWPL 1 and 2, which are 8 teams each, and then there's kind of regionalised leagues, which is where Blackburn are currently based. So it's going to become an SWPL 1 and 2, and then there'll be a kind of conference set up, kind of north-south.
Lowland and Highland League in a way as well.
Yeah, sort of along those lines. And that's where Livi will go into. We'll be within those kind of conferences, and we'll have the opportunity to work our way up. There's promotion, it'll be a playoff system, so if we finish top of the league, for example, we would go straight up into SWPL 2, and second it would be a playoff with the north or south, whichever kind of section we go into, to go up. So there's good progression in that sense as well, and I think as I say, it's a brilliant step forward for the club. They've obviously kept it under wraps quite well because normally
that came out of the blue, didn't it?
They must have taken a while as well to organise.
Oh, without doubt, and I think we've got to credit Blackburn in this as well. They've got, like we mentioned earlier, they've had that set up in place for years now.
The same coaching staff that are going to take on the Livingston team as well.
Real community-based club, and it will encourage a lot of the local girls to get involved. I mean, as you mentioned, Callum, we've got a real pedigree in West Lothian alone. Good female players coming through the ranks, playing at international level. The team manager coaching the Scotland team.
Even just in Scotland as well. Yeah. I mean, I look at recently, Jamie Lee Napier's just signed from Hibs. She's just gone to Chelsea, who are obviously a top team in European women's football. Yeah. So that's got to inspire young girls from Scotland. Yeah.
At women's level, I think we have something which we don't at men's level. I think we have some world class players at women's level. Cuthbert, like Erin Cuthbert, Caroline Weir, Claire Emsley and things like that. Kim Little. I think that's something we don't actually have at men's level, and as I say, it's great that the club's now given the opportunity for young girls in West Lothian to go and play for Livingston. I just think it's brilliant.
There's going to be people out there that are just never going to get women's football, and that's fair enough. But I think as an all exclusive club, like Livingston, it's a great step forward to get this going. And it also kind of helps that Livingston are the forefront of the community now. We've got West Lothian Youth Foundation who are doing kids training right throughout the year. Young girls and young boys playing there. You've got Blackburn linked up with the club now, offering young girls the opportunity to progress into the female game with Livingston connected to that. It might not be we might not be a massive club, but for a young girl, that's a great thing to aspire to.
Should we throw out a wee suggestion of an unofficial nickname maybe?
Oh, an unofficial nickname. Because obviously we're not having the Lioness.
Yeah, we've got the Lionesses, which is obviously what England's women's national team is called.
I'm not keen on
having that.
Potentially, if anybody's got any suggestions, give us a shout.
Yeah,
we can start calling the women's team that.
Yeah, I think as well going forward, potentially maybe bring a few of these girls on to the podcast discussing how they're doing and obviously getting involved a bit more for our side, because I'm not going to lie, I don't know a lot about the women's game. I've been to 2 or 3 games in the past. You know more because you're involved with Spartans and you see it there quite a lot.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that I'd be interested in learning more, especially under the banner of Livingston, because it's another opportunity for us to support the club in another way, support exclusivity in the community as well. So hopefully get involved in that. I think that they've got Facebook and Twitter. Off the top of my head,
already got some like 500 followers on the women's account.
At Livingston WFC.
Yeah.
So go and give them a follow and get involved.
Because I think there's a lot of kind of sign-in news expected over the next few weeks. So
a lot of local girls as well. So what better way for fans to get behind the club and see local players getting involved?
Get following.
In our latest edition of our feature, What Does Your Fox In?, our take on the hit TV show Room 101, we argue our case to try and rid the football world of some of our biggest pet hates. Last week, Ewan argued against referee Greg Aitken.
Should have won. I'm sorry, should have won.
Callum, players having to go off the field of play after being injured.
Yeah, very annoying that.
And I argued against Alan Preston's existence. Thankfully, our electorate was clearly more sensible than the English public last week.
They are, because basically you want us to get relegated because Greg Aitken suspends the players. Just saying, sorry.
Well, they voted for Alan Preston, and I'm absolutely delighted with that.
Honestly, I don't know what's wrong with you.
So well done, everybody who voted for Alan Preston.
Not better.
Great effort. Delighted with that. So this week, we ask again in the name of one of our most Marmite players of all time, Liam Fox. Ewan, what does your fox in this week?
Third cats.
Okay.
Third cats.
I like
What's the point? What's the point?
Don't vote for Ewan, guys.
Why don't you just get an away kit that's not going to clash? It's just a money making scam to get more money out of fans.
Money making scam.
That is literally what it is.
Do Livingston have a third kit?
No.
Have you thought about who you're appealing to here, Ewan?
We don't have a third kit.
No.
Right, but
I quite like us to have a third kit personally. Or do I?
I'd like you to shut the hell up whilst I'm talking. Right? I just think it's an absolute money-making scam to just get more money out of fans. You know, a kit costs, like, down south, for example, you like talking £70 for a Man United top, right? Mm-hmm. And Man United released 3 strips. Why don't you just get an away kit that doesn't clash with any of the other teams in the league?
Is that not quite difficult to do, though?
Well, for example,
they would need to get like luminous yellow or something.
It's quite
and even then,
kit.
that would go with Norwich then.
I'd say £70 a bargain, you, and I don't know.
They can wear a red Man United top against a yellow Norwich top, can't they? Right? No, third kits. No, do away with them. Just stop trying to scam fans.
But then, like you say, scamming fans for clubs. Maybe not Man United. It's a fair comment. Man United don't need the money, but for smaller clubs, certainly up.
Airdrie have 3 kits. Airdrie!
So
Airdrie have 3 kits!
Airdrieonians.
What is the point?
So there's an opportunity for that club to make a little bit more money.
It's pointless. It's pointless.
Yeah,
they do not need 3 kits.
Doing well in the league.
Airdrie do not... Yeah, aye, and it's all based on having 3 kits.
I like how Callum gives us thrown in the wee points there. Airdrieonians. Well, they're doing well in the league.
Everyone listening here is nodding their head with me.
They're not. I mean,
we're not.
I get what you're saying, Ewan. But for smaller clubs like Airdrie, that is another income that they're making money from.
Look at my face. Does it look like I care? No, right?
I'm just trying to.
I really don't.
For the purposes of audio,
a club like Airdrie,
Ewan does not care.
Airdrie do not need a third kit, right? Clubs should just create a kit that doesn't clash with the rest of the league. It's quite easy. You know what club colours other teams wear.
Or like Livingston, you could just make your home kit your away kit, and your away kit your home kit.
That's a lie.
Banter.
Callum,
yeah,
what does your Fox in?
Oh, my name's Andy. I've done stats.
Well, I won last week, so.
Well done. I won the week before, so.
Exactly.
You and a bit of catching up to do.
Yeah. So, what does your Fox in this week, Callum?
This is going to sound harsh as a goalkeeper myself.
So on that's Callum. So
But
what does my Fox in this week?
Shut up, Andy. God, let people speak. No,
goalkeeper coming for you.
Goalkeepers.
What was that?
Being overprotected.
Oh, that's a shock from a top quality goalkeeper like yourself.
I personally rip the piss when I play in goals. I don't play at a high level whatsoever. Play at a very low level actually, but
plays on the bench.
I don't. But take Al McGregor, prime example. Not because he's cost me money today, but he gets away with murder. I think keepers in general get away with murder. They're allowed to come out with their knees up.
Do they actually get away with murder though?
No, not really. No.
Technically not murder, but I know what he's meaning.
It's a phrase, Ewan. Goalkeepers, they come out with their knees up, as I was saying there. They're allowed to use their hands. No, I'm joking. But they're just time wasting. If you're taking a goal kick, it's 30 seconds to a minute usually. If somebody does that for a throw in, they're booked automatically, which McGregor should have been today, but that's for another time.
Alan McGregor cost you £750 today, didn't he?
He did, Andrew, but
Brady,
let's not
for someone who thinks that this does their foxing, you don't sound very passionate about it.
Yeah, you don't actually.
You really don't.
Yeah.
You're not very committed to this.
The listeners want passion behind your argument.
If it does your foxing, you would get really wound up about it.
It's goalkeepers. They come out for a cross ball. Do
you want to know what it is? It's because he's scared he's going to get chucked out the union. He's going to get chucked out the union because he's criticising keepers.
Can you hear something? Was it me talking there?
Oh.
Been interrupted?
Right, come on then.
Do you mind doing that to me?
Yep.
You're doing well.
Leeds are doing well. No, keepers coming out, they drop the ball and they sometimes can get away with it because they've been slightly nudged and it's a foul.
Yeah, I can see your point.
There's uncertainty with this 6-second rule. Mm-hmm. There's uncertainty with keepers coming out and having 2 hands on the ball.
It's something I probably can't argue with, to be honest, because it does my foxing as well.
Yeah, it is rather annoying.
Keepers, I mean, you used Alan McGregor's example.
Coming out and kicking people.
Yeah, he came out studs first. Could have broke the boy's leg at Aberdeen last season.
Yeah, any other position on the pitch.
It's a red card, but he never even got a booking. No. It wasn't even a foul.
That's because it's Alan McGregor.
As you say, attacking player, eye on the ball, goes in to win the ball, keeper comes out,
falls over, gets a foul.
So yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Andy, you fancy live in this conversation up a bit.
Yeah. So, what does
You
my
go for fourth kits or
no? What does my fox in the most? And I'm sure this has got to be a winner because I've heard this getting shouted at every game across the country, no matter what fan you are. Not beating the first man from a set piece. How frustrating is it? As a fan, you get worked up. Oh yes, we've got a corner. Come on, let's make an opportunity. Boy goes out, places the ball in the corner quadrant, puts it in. Doesn't he beat the first man? Headed away, defended. What's the fucking point?
Personally, what does my head in more is overhit corners.
Well, this isn't about overhit corners. This is about not beating the first man.
But see, if you don't beat the first man, the ball could come back out or go out for another corner. It could come back out to the corner taker to go and swing another ball in.
I've just had a thought there. We've just played St Mirren on Saturday, obviously. St Mirren's second goal. Cammy McPherson, it comes from a corner, second phase of a corner. He doesn't beat the first man. We haven't cleared it properly.
That's not the argument, though, Callum.
Well, they've scored from.
That's not the argument.
They've scored.
But that's what I mean. It's kept alive whilst an overhit corner.
You say that,
the corner goes out.
You say that though, but I was looking at
been
Dundee.
shat on.
I was looking at Dundee last season compared to us. Now, 10%. No, listen. 10% of Dundee's goals came from set pieces last season, which was the lowest in the league.
That's terrible.
How many times did they not beat the first man? I don't know, but going by.
That's not a very good stat then.
But listen,
you don't know.
How many times did they overhit?
How many short corners
But listen,
did they play?
going by 10% of goals scored.
How many
from
overhit
set
corners
pieces,
did
can
they
I
play?
speak now? Going from 10% of goals scored from set pieces and they finished bottom of the league. Compare that to us. We scored 35% of our goals from set pieces last season.
Yeah, it's gone ahead.
There's a massive difference.
So it
affects
talking
teams.
about set pieces, right? We've been talking about Keegan pretty much overhitting. There was one yesterday. I was like, Keegan will put us in the keeper's hand.
How many times has he underhit it though? How many times this season have we underhit corners and free kicks?
I think he overhits them more, which I think is more frustrating because it doesn't even have a chance.
But what I'm saying is, I'm not specifically aiming this at Livingston.
I know.
I'm aiming this in the general consensus that when you look at it over the course, a team that struggles with set pieces is going to struggle in the league because that is where a major part of the game is, where a major part of the goals come from. How many of them are underhit corners that doesn't beat the first man?
For me, there's second phases of play where if you don't beat the first.
But there could be second phases of play with overhit corners.
Or free
not really,
because it usually goes out for a.
No, but sometimes there is.
Sometimes.
Like overhit corner for Lawson against St Mirren. We created a chance from that. Yes, that was an overhit corner.
Yeah.
But
there's arguments both sides. My argument is underhit corners that doesn't beat, or underhit free kicks, or under whatever that doesn't beat the first man. It takes away. It lowers your percentage chance of scoring a goal. And if you don't score goals for set pieces, you're likely to struggle in the league. That is fact. That is stats.
Yeah. Well,
you gave one stat and then didn't back up your actual argument, which was like how many of their corners hit the first man, for example. I want that. Tell me that. If you turn round and go, oh, 85% of their corners hit the first man. Then you know what? I'll be like, yeah, that would really do my head in. But you just said 10% of their goals came from set pieces.
10%, Ewan.
How many set pieces did they get?
10%.
How many free kicks? Dundee were absolutely shite last year. How many times did they actually get a free kick in an attacking position?
It's just so heated. I love it.
I love it, but it's not.
Dundee's not a great example.
They are a good example because they got relegated.
Yeah, but they were pish.
But how many? But there was teams there that weren't much better. Hamilton were terrible, but they scored 30% of their goals from set pieces last season.
Do you want to know what
that
that is?
Out with the bottom two.
Well, Hamilton were better last year.
Were they better though? I mean,
they were better than Dundee.
Dreadful.
They were much better than Dundee because how many points clear did they finish it?
I feel like I'm getting done here where I've done all my research compared to these two. I've just came up with something out the blue. So if you want to back...
I've not. I knew clubs that have third kits.
If you
don't need to research something that does my head in, mate. It just comes to me naturally.
Like you.
Wow. Well, but I think to summarise...
For anyone, because obviously this is audio, there was a tumbleweed went past when Andy said that. Just saying.
In conclusion...
To summarise, I think we've got a couple of good strong candidates there, and we've got Ewan with these third kits. So, you all know who to vote for.
Just a wee quick recap. Ewan.
Third kits.
Third kits does your fox in. Callum.
Goalkeepers being overprotected.
And not beating the first man from a set piece.
Oh, that's good. How you fitting that into your 25 character?
Well, third kitchen, third place.
We'll put a poll on Twitter like we've done the last couple of weeks. Ewan, you've got a bit of catching up to do. Callum, you've won a poll. I won last week, so unfortunately you're not going to win this week. I think we can all clearly predict that. So put it up. We'll get you voting. Probably go up on Tuesday. That's when we've been putting it up, and
yeah, that'd be great.
See how it goes. Get voted. What does your thoughts say? Oh wow.
It's been a busy episode this week, but finally it's time to look ahead to our game with Ross County. Another opportunity to get more points on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the games I think we all targeted for 3 points. I mean, we said it last week after the Kilmarnock game that we'd have taken a point.
Wasn't that long ago, Andrew. It's not that difficult to remember.
We'd have taken a point in Paisley if we were to win against Ross County.
Yeah.
And I think we should go into it with a bit of confidence. We're playing well enough. We're scoring goals. Like you say, that's 3 goals in the last 2 league games.
And we absolutely battered them away from home.
We battered them, and defensively they're pretty poor.
Yep.
So it's a good opportunity.
They've had a couple of good results in the bounce after a poor run of form as well. So I think they'll look at us targeting 3 points.
Yeah. But then you say that both of those games were at home, and Ross County have been struggling on the road just as much as we have. I think the last win came away from home in September against Motherwell.
Yeah.
I think that accumulates to maybe 6 games away from home without a win. So they're having the same kind of troubles that we're having this season. So and we're notoriously strong at home.
Yeah.
So it's a good opportunity for us.
Player that I think we'll need to keep under wraps for them is Ross Stewart. He's got 11 goals this
7
season.
goals in the league. He's the top goal scorer in the league.
Yeah. So I think he's
set up a few as well.
Yeah, he's the big danger man. Scored against us as well.
The thing is, see when I've watched him, he looks like a big huddy.
Yeah.
He looks absolutely hopeless, but obviously he's got a bit about him. Really scoring goals.
I like his rise up as well. Obviously Albion Rovers. He's obviously gone to Alloa as well. And
I think St Mirren, didn't he?
Yeah, St Mirren. He was released by Alan Stubbs.
A lot of St Mirren fans are looking at it going, Christ, if we had him, with their striking issues that they've had. It's one of the games I was looking at it as well. Going back to the sort of home away record thing, Ewan, that was your phone this week. Good shout, well done. Going back to the home and away thing, we've averaged 1.5 points at home to their 0.88 away.
Yeah.
So going on stats, it's a game we should be targeting to win.
Hopefully they don't score 0.88
index spew on you.
I had a bit of time on my hands last night. so
honest to God.
Hopefully we don't concede 0.88 goals at the weekend.
I doubt we will, but you know.
That was my prediction actually. 0.88 as a draw.
Aye, okay, Callum, twat. I think as well, this isn't a stat that I've checked, but I think off the top of my head we've played them about 10 or 11 times at home, and I think they've only beat us once.
Twice.
Is it twice? So I knew they hadn't beat us a lot, but...
Beat us twice. They beat us the season they won the league. They beat us 3-0. They ended our 18-month unbeaten home record.
Right.
Remember Rory Bolden getting sent off. I also remember that game because someone was going mental at the referee, and I turned round and said to them it was as clear a red card as you'll ever see, and they told me to F off in the Livi end. I was like, okay.
I think what cost us that day is
classic Livi fans.
We weren't beating the first man from corners.
I'm glad you agree, Callum.
No, but Ross County that season, then they pretty much won the league at Livi that weekend as well.
Am I right in saying is that you and you're good at this stuff? Am I right in saying this is the first time we've been in the Premier League together?
Yeah.
So we've only played them once in the Premier League this season. Yeah. Obviously the 4-1 win, so 100% record in the Premier League against them.
Yeah.
Another stat there. Not a very
By
good
accident,
one.
That stat, but
not a very good one. But what about going into the end for us? Obviously, Talkie Taylor Sinclair going off injured yesterday. I believe it was an injury. So that's a position that might be open for change.
For me, it would just be a straight swap and put Jack McMillan in. I think Jack's a bit unlucky to see himself out the side. I think Jack's been really consistent pretty much his whole time he's been with us. I think he kind of never really lets us down.
Yep.
So
And there's a,
I would
there's,
just go and put it straight swap.
there's a lot of calls for Alan Lithgow to come back into the side.
I thought I looked really rusty.
He did.
I think that's going to be down to his injury.
But
He did,
he
but
has
then
he has had a couple of different injuries.
there's
throughout the
arguments
season.
that Ricky struggled.
Yeah.
So is there a straight swap potentially there? I mean, we were all speaking at the St Mirren game about how ropey he was in the first half. And we all kind of, when we seen Alan going down the tunnel, that was the sub we were expecting, Lammy off, Lithgow on.
Yeah. However, watching Al yesterday, I think Al looked like he was struggling as well, so I don't know.
I think the defence should be changed considering 3 goals.
Yeah,
personally.
I agree. I think there's got to be something.
The thing is, we spoke about it before, the defence has to be changed again. We're never getting a run of games with the same defence.
Yeah.
So that's 2 weeks in a row we've played that defence, right? 2.5 games, right? Because Lawson came in half time at Tynecastle. But then you're going, we've conceded 3, so we need to change it straight away.
To be fair, I think reading between or listening between the lines of Gary Holt's interview after St Mirren, that he wasn't overly concerned with the defensive errors because a lot of it he was blaming the weather and the windy sort of swirling conditions.
Do we need to give more credit to Taylor Sinclair then?
Yeah, I think he's been superb.
He's been great since he's come in. I agree. Yeah. He's obviously kept that clean sheet against Kilmarnock in that back four. We've only conceded 1. I think they barely threatened us in the first half, as poor as we were. And he's come off, and obviously we've conceded 2 goals. Does that happen with him on the pitch?
I don't see many changes for next week, but the most obvious one would probably be at left back for me.
Yeah, I think
if Taylor Sinclair's not available.
I think as well. We obviously spoke about Suda adding a final touch to his game. The other one that I was a bit concerned about was Pittman. I don't think he's been up to it since he returned from his injury.
I thought him and Sibbald were both excellent against Kilmarnock, but they weren't great at all against St Mirren, unfortunately.
I mean, it's hard for me to sit here and say about Pittman because he's been an absolute star and standout player for us for a number of years.
First name on the team sheet for about 3 seasons.
It's the first time he'd been out injured for that period of time. So it's maybe taken him a bit longer.
Must affect you.
The thing is, he's played 90 minutes every single game since he's came back in as well. So he's not really had a kind of getting eased back in like some of the other players have when they've been out for a wee while.
I think it shows how important a player he is.
Yeah.
I mean, the other option as well, talking about Suda adding that final touch, is putting Suda into that Pittman role, giving Pittman a wee rest.
Yeah.
That's not, and then bringing Robinson into play where Suda's been playing.
You go Robinson and straight in behind.
Yeah, that's another option. Well, that's the good thing that we've got. We've got a lot of options, certainly going forward, and we're showing that by scoring plenty of goals. So, saying all of that, predictions for the game. Who wants to go first?
We'll go with the challengers first.
Challengers.
Yeah.
On you go.
I think me to go first.
The leader should go last.
So, as I said earlier, we haven't scored 3 goals in 3 or more goals in 3 consecutive games in the Premier League ever in our history. I think we're going to be history makers this weekend, and I'm going to go 3-1 Livingston. I think there'll be a fair. We're creating chances, but we're also leaking goals at the back. 3-1 Livingston, I think.
I'm going to be. I'm slithering over this one over a draw, but I'll go 2-1 Livi.
2-1 Livi. Callum.
I'd said to Andy before we got to Ewan's flat here that it would be 2-1. I said 2-1 as well.
You did say 2-1.
I think we'll win. I'm confident that we'll win.
Yeah.
Our home form's been excellent. I'd love us to keep a clean sheet, but I can see Ross Stewart scoring. I think we'll. I actually had a dream last night, right?
Oh God, here we go.
We saw the dream.
We saw yesterday. John Guthrie scored again, and there's that competition between him and Bartley.
Yeah.
I think Bartley will score.
Yeah, I feel like we've created that.
Yeah, certainly have. If Emily doesn't know what we're talking about, we tweeted, was it last week?
Yeah.
About Marvin scoring and John Guthrie, that's some level, and since then Guthrie's scored 2 and 2.
It's like our version of Robertson versus Alexander Arnold in the assists.
And obviously Bartley, when Guthrie scored, Bartley's reaction was just to run up to him with his head in his hands. Rather than celebrate with him, he looked overly disappointed. John Guthrie had put us ahead. But I mean, just quickly, I've mentioned it about our good home form, and you've mentioned it, but actually,
It's not that great.
We've got better. We're a better away from home.
And we play better.
Take away the Celtic and Kilmarnock games. I think we've played better away from home for large spells of games than we have at home.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to get another 3 points.
I think if we get the ball
At the
down in this
Spaghetti
game, like we done against Kilmarnock,
Yeah.
because we passed the ball about really well. If we can do that against Ross County, I think we'll open them up quite easily, because you've mentioned it a few times, Callum. You didn't rate them defensively.
Diddies.
Fontaine, you're not a big fan of.
Fontaine, Fraser, Kelly.
Yeah, so they can be got at, and we've got a bit of pace about us going forward. Dyke should cause them problems.
Well, he did up in Dingwall. So
there's definitely goals.
Thing is though, the game up in Dingwall, we were a bit more of an unknown quantity to them.
Yeah.
I think we almost caught them a bit off guard up there. So I don't think they'll be as ropey as they were up there. I think they'll be more switched on to the way we play.
They might just sit in and try and frustrate.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe what they've potentially been doing the last 2 games, and it's been quite successful for them.
Yeah.
But as we mentioned, their away form isn't great, so hopefully we can play on that, get a positive result, and hopefully by this time next week we can be sitting in the top 6 going into Christmas.
That's it for another episode of Talk Livi. We had a great response to last week's episode, mainly down to the fact that we had that interview with Chris Erskine. So we'd like to thank him and everybody that listened to our podcast, and for your continued support.
You can find Talk Livi on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter by just searching for Talk Livi. Hit like and follow to keep up to date with everything we're doing. You can also find this episode and all our other episodes on all good podcast streaming sites, including iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, plus many more.
All our episodes are also on our website, talklivipodcast.libsyn.com, and after a lot of hard work, we're now up and running on YouTube as well. You can find us by searching Talk Livi. We'd love it if you could hit the subscribe button, so go give us a listen and leave a review if you like as well. All your feedback's welcome, good or bad.
So from myself, Andy and Ewan, it's thank you for listening to Talk Livi. We'll be back again next week as always to review the Ross County game, as well as previewing Aberdeen and Hibs' upcoming games as well. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Thanks very much.